While there's so much I want to say about Mighty No.9 regarding just the whole concept of it, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and control myself by just saying this. After my This Game Mighty No.9 video, I've learned a lot about myself and about the game. About myself, I kind of just looked back and it just dawned on me of how big of a Mega Man fan I actually am, and because I kind of was questioning why I was even hyped for this game to begin with, and that's where the answers came. And I also learned about the whole issue with where the whole hype died for this game, with it being the two main reasons for being the graphics looked poor for a full $4 million funded indie game, and their poor marketing, aka the anime fan on prom night incident.
You kill an enemy and you can absorb their power-ups, stuff that'll make you faster and stronger and make the bad guys cry like an anime fan on prom night.
But still, man, it was hard to intake the sheer slander Mighty No.9 was receiving based on the fact Keiji Inafune is the mastermind behind Soul Sacrifice. Now, if you do not know what Soul Sacrifice is, just know that it is one of the greatest games with a story. This is a Vita exclusive, and Keiji Inafune literally changed how I saw Vita games, because at first you think of them as not the greatest like game quality games, you're just kind of getting faux games, just a little bit stronger. But Keiji Inafune took this handheld and made it his baby, and he made one of the best games on the handheld, and I could just not accept him making such a poor game. So I had to take matters into my own hands. You see, the issue with Mighty No.9 isn't fully of the gameplay, but more of its life prior to release. And the thing is with this prior release is that with all the delays, with all this money, this supposedly quote-unquote money they had to make for this game, people are wondering and were expecting the greatest reincarnation of Mega Man to surface. And that's where there's an issue. Such high expectations were set, and it's not easy to meet them, especially whenever you started this Kickstarter just because maybe you were thinking, oh, maybe I could make, maybe, you know, a lot of people want it. But it was more of how KG and started this was more of like, people really want to see Mega Man, and I kind of want to do that again. Let me try it. Maybe some people will support me behind this. And I do not think he was expecting to receive this much support. And it was kind of overwhelming for him. And he had a small team to top it all off. This comment on your screen right now kind of says some stuff. While it might not be true, it still says some stuff about the inside problems that Concept could have been having. Deep Silver could have been having. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about. And I just think it's really rough to just judge it by how this game was just so hyped. I think we just need to cut them a little slack, because they also said on their live stream only 2.7 million was put into the game. The rest was put for taxes, rewards, licensing, and other fees. And you have to remember that this is being put on 10 platforms, not all, but like 10 platforms. And the thing is with that, these platforms all are very diverse and their hardware is very different. So please, if you have not played the game, I think you should at least give it a try. While there are definitely problems, which I will be labeling, there still is some hope for this game. So let's just go ahead and get into the review. Niggas are playing, you see this shit? Niggas are playing Pong with me. Y'all niggas crazy, bruh. Y'all niggas crazy, bruh. Y'all niggas think this is a joke, huh? Y'all can just toy with me. You can't toy with me, boy. Nostalgic. This game definitely reminds me of Mega Man. Now, I don't know what all these reviewers are saying, acting as if this game feels nothing like Mega Man. I'm telling you, there's water levels. I've always been kind of ass at Mega Man games. I'm not even gonna try to stunt. Like, it definitely takes me a while to figure out how to play these bitches, bro. I'm not even gonna try and stunt. I'm gonna say it straight up. Which brought back great memories from Mega Man Maverick Hunter X, some stages like that. While of course they're not identical, they don't look anywhere near the same, it still just brought it back to me because of the idea of how the level design is and having the waterness making you slow and stuff. It just, man, I just felt a breath of fresh air whenever I played these. Not only that, but also some air, like aerial levels. And then this area is similar to the other one guy from, I don't even know which Mega Man it was, but if you guys play Mega Man, you guys definitely know that this is like resembling that other. That turbulence making me like push over to the right or pushing me up, it just felt so cool, bro. Just felt so cool, man. And honestly, the feel of the game just has a slight Mega Man feel. While it's not the biggest, maybe not as big as some people were hoping, it's definitely there, regardless of what you say. It has a Mega Man feel, okay? Maybe not the biggest, but it's there. Game mechanics, huh? Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me. I could have got health. So the idea of taking someone's ability is straight from the Mega Man. And while this has that, it doesn't feel the same. But this isn't a completely bad thing. Now, in terms of Mighty No.9, this kind of is a bad thing, but the way they did it shows some promise. Thank you. Yo, this fire is just, I don't, whatever you want to call this, man. This guy is dope. The reason why I said it's kind of bad for Mighty No.9 is because the way they did it does not execute it very properly. The thing I like about it though is that each ability that you steal is so unique from one another. It's nowhere near really similar. Only a few, barely any, just like 2 that are similar to each other. But even then, they still have their fair share of differences, and they have cool attributes, and I think that's where it messed them up. They're too unique, and so they couldn't find a very efficient way to make them all completely useful. In Mega Man, you're usually taking someone's ability and using it for another boss. While in Mighty No.9, only, I want to say 1 or 2 bosses I would recommend fully using another Mighty Numbers ability. But one way that I see that this could evolve is the idea that this game is a fast-paced game, and so I found myself switching between one other Mighty Numbers ability plus my normal Buster. And this felt so good, man. It felt so good. It felt new. It had a Mega Man feel to it, but it also felt unique and different. And that's why I think this game has so much potential. But it falls short of that, where some of the abilities are completely useless. And I think that's where a lot of people had issues with. But like I said, there are some that are useful, and those ones that are useful, I found myself switching between them, and it just made it feel good. The level obstacles in this game are very much like Mega Man as well. You know, there'll be ones where you really need to think, what's going on here? What do I need to do? And the best feeling is the idea that maybe these Mighty Numbers abilities aren't used for the bosses, but they are definitely used in the level designs. Bro, I just did this. Search for a counter. What kind of map is this, bruh? Oh, I get it. Every time oh, see? Alright, I don't know what is going on, but I actually can't do this. Like, bro, use crouch dash. I am using crouch dash. And I keep dying from this. You see how low I am? That shit is touching me, bruh. There we go. Yes. Now where do I go?
Can openers that hit harder.
I appreciate the zeal, Bat. Could you take the crazy down a notch? Hey, get it together, you two!
And the fact that each ability that you're taking are so unique, that's what made it that's basically what made this possible. That the obstacles could really utilize what these abilities could, really truly had to offer. And deep down for me, I felt as if each ability did have a purpose. You just had to think harder of how to use them efficiently. But, that's just me thinking. Something else that's nostalgic and very good for the game mechanic is the idea of the boss's learning curves. Just like Mega Man, you go in blind, not knowing what their moveset is at all. And for me, when I play Mega Man games, I kind of thought of my first runs as just sacrifices, just to test out the waters, see what they're gonna do. And that is very much in Mighty No. 9. Oh, what is this? What are you doing? How the heck do I dodge that, huh? And then not only that, the whole idea, basically just all my mindsets of how I would fight bosses in Mega Man are here in Mighty No. And that's very refreshing to think. Where I would be like, I would sacrifice my HP for some moves that I just could not figure out how to dodge, based on their attack patterns, or learning a boss moveset and just like I said, using the first run as a fodder run, and then trying to get to the middle part wherever their moveset changes a little bit and it adds some spice to it, figuring that out, and then going 2 to 3 runs later, I finally figure out the whole boss's moveset and I can now beat him. What the freak was going on there? I don't know what, there was 2 of them. Oh my gosh. And that all is here, and it feels just like Mega Man. The only thing missing is the idea of using other abilities that you gained from other bosses in this one. Now the story. While Mighty No. 9's story isn't the most unique and is kind of generic, it definitely showed promise. The voice acting was great. I could the characters, the mighty numbers, robots, they all had such cool, just what's the word? Personalities, okay? The mighty numbers had cool just by them talking, you can get the way that they act, and I feel like if they would actually make the story kind of more dynamic, it would honestly be a great story because of just the voice acting and just how I could see everything transpiring. It had potential. It just was really boring and I didn't care for it at all, but it still had potential. But again, whenever I think of Mega Man X, I didn't really worry about the story a whole lot. It was kind of generic too, but I just felt like that shouldn't be a game breaker. The story wasn't the greatest, but I also don't think it was completely useless.
As you can see, we've got a few accidents eastbound on, well, everywhere!
Mighty No. 6? What does he think he's doing?
Now the differences. Amidst all that hype, I'm sure KG kind of got nervous in a sense of how can I kind of make this feel like Mega Man, but obviously not use the same exact stuff. And while the changes aren't all that, big or anything, it definitely changes how you play this game versus Mega Man games. The whole absorption idea in Mighty No. 9 is very cool concept, and it really increases the pace because now there's no charge shot, and it only takes about 3 to 4, 5, 7 max shots to get someone to the point where you can absorb them. And so basically you can press square as fast as you want, it comes out super fast, and so they're absorbed, and you can dash. And not only that, but you can dash unlimitedly. I'm sure you've all seen this, but it just makes the game such a fast-paced game. And this adds on to the idea of quickly switching between somebody's ability and then your normal ability and then your normal buster. It adds to the pace, it makes it very exciting, and I just love it. And they also added this super unique ability, or these items or something. Whenever you absorb them, you get a boost, a buff. I guess that's what you can call it. Sometimes you'll speed up. Sometimes your weapons will go through stuff, you know. And there are some parts where these boosts are kind of strategically given to you because you need it to get through an obstacle in the level, and that was so cool. Now, the main problems of Mighty No. 9. The main problem I see that kind of affect the whole game in general and why it's been getting bad reviews. Now, first off, before we even begin, why it's getting bad reviews is because of how long we've waited and just how hyped everyone was and how it all disappeared after all the incidents that went down. That's why people are rating this game so just hard. So the idea of the story being bad, they make that seem like it's a big deal. The idea that it does have some flaws that really do limit it a little bit, but still the flaws are a good idea, it's just not executed well. They take that for granted and they really just bash on them for it. But really, these problems are not that hard to be fixed and could make the game gold. But anyways, let me tell you what the main problems are. When I played through the game, I just felt no sense of progression, and this was partially because once I beated a mighty number and I got their ability, there was no feeling of like, yes, I can't wait to see, like, yes, I was curious of what they did, but it was at the point where after I got a few of them, I was like, okay, I know this one's gonna be pretty useless and I'm not gonna be able to really use it, but at least let me try it out and maybe try to find some use to it. And so the idea that I really had to search for use for these weapons made me just not feel as if I was progressing, you know. I just was going through these missions and I just did not think, I don't know, man. It just felt like I was not getting that much stronger, basically. Because in Mega Man, whenever you got all these new abilities, you just felt stronger. You could take out so many more enemies in different maps and stuff like that. And it just wasn't there. And another cool part was in Mega Man how some areas you cannot even do unless you do somewhere else. That wasn't here, you know. You could go into any map and do any one from the start with no problems. And like I said, the abilities, this was another main problem. They were just lacking a bit. Some of them just didn't have enough depth. Some were way more useful than others. Some were completely useless. And with that, it just hurt the game a lot, honestly, because Mega Man was a lot about powering up, you know? And if you take that away, you just have a guy shooting his gun a lot. This game dropped to 40 frames on my PlayStation 4. Now, like I said, give them some slack because they had to do this on 10 platforms, but still, that's crazy. And that is a big problem. While it didn't ruin, like I didn't die at some points because the frame rate drops to 40 frames. And note that this is a constant 40, like it's a smooth 40 frames that it would just randomly drop to for no reason. I was kind of impressed. I was like, I never seen no game do something like this where it's a constant drop, like it stays there for a little bit and it's smooth. It was really weird, but as like I said, I'd be a little bit lenient, but it is a big problem. But like I said, it didn't get me killed or anything. I was still playing fine. Still, it just looked and felt weird as I was playing it. It had an awful release on PC, Wii U, PS4, all that stuff. And even some backers aren't getting the right codes and stuff like that. They recently addressed that issue, but man, this is the worst release I've ever seen in my life. And then on release day, other versions got delayed, which they weren't really talking about. So just an awful release, and that just added on to the backlash this game is receiving. And to top it all off, it had way too many delays. But other than that, man, for my final verdict, I want to give this a 6.99 out of 10, maybe even, I want to say 7 out of 10, because it has really good ideas. They just weren't executed properly to make this game maybe not what people were expecting, but actually yes, because the abilities are the main issue, and that's where it just kind of hindered the game. So I want to give this a 7 out of 10 because if it were to fix its main problems, even just the first few main problems that I mentioned, if it were just the lack of progression, the abilities, if it were just able to fix that, this game would be an easy 8 or 9 out of 10. But I still would recommend you play this game. If you're not looking for the greatest reincarnation ever, I definitely think this game is worth a try, just worth a try. But if you are looking for an amazing game that you were super hyped for whenever you backed it or whenever the Kickstarter started, you might be a little bit disappointed, you know. You might be a little bit, but I definitely enjoyed this type of game. Like it's had Mega Man feel, not a complete Mega Man feel, but it still was an enjoyable game, so to say. Just a normal game, it was enjoyable. So I definitely recommend it if that's all if you're okay with that. But other than that, thank you guys for watching this review. I hope it helped you. I just think the game needs a little bit more respect, you know, respect. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and also thank you so much for the support on my this game my number 9 video. Unbelievable. I love you guys. But other than that, I will have to see you guys in the next video. Peace. Oh no. Almost dead. He's probably gonna do the... Oh no. There it is. Let's go. You see, I'm waiting and they hating, and I'm sipping on my tea. Bad bitch walking past, may I stop you, please? And I'm hungry as a bitch, but this life ain't free. If I'm trying to get this money, I can't really shake a tree. I be working, it's a 3:15. When I stop